Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark, Sarah, and Pam. We're covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com.
And today's show is brought to you by United Piping, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. Call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleanings at 754-4556. UPI, the best plumbers around. Also brought to you by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 5 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com, and remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
We have the pleasure of being joined in studio today by Salt and Light Community Center founder and CEO Darlene Conant.
Hey, everyone.
And Secretary and Administration Advisor Gisele Guerrette. How you doing, Gisele?
Hey, good morning.
Did I get your name right?
Totally you did.
Yay!
Nailed it.
I am a professional. We're going to talk to Darlene and Gisele all about Salt and Light coming up here in just a bit. But before we get there, let's take a look at some headlines for Thursday, May 15th.
Governor Mills signed the nation's first PFAS response program into law. The program requires the state to clean up PFAS and address threats and hazards posed by forever chemicals. It will also provide financial support to impacted farmers, including those forced out of business.
Overdose deaths nationwide in 2024 were down by 27% from the year before. It's the largest decline ever recorded by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Maine saw a 20% drop. The Margaret Chase Smith Policy Center said there are many possible reasons for the decline, but one might be the chemical makeup of the drugs involved.
Auburn Public Works announced its open house is scheduled for May 31st at 296 Gracelawn Road. The event will feature free food from Sam's Italian, a touch-a-truck, a giant sandbox, and a safety vest for the first 100 kids. For more information, visit auburnmaine.gov.
Also happening on May 31st, the city of Lewiston announced the unveiling of the nation's first full-body bronze statue of Muhammad Ali. The statue commemorates Ali's knockout win over Sonny Liston in Lewiston in 1965. It'll be displayed near Bates Mill number 5 at 65 Main Street.
Should we talk about the weather?
Shall we?
Rain or shine, it's all okay. Grab your uke and start the day. Clouds may come or skies turn blue. Weather's fun with me and you. The sun is bright and storms may brew. Every day's a brand new view. You don't need perfect skies above. Hey, just a song and a little love.
Oh,
Right?
my gosh.
Yeah.
A little love.
Yeah.
Took me a long time to find the right chord.
Perhaps a little harmony behind that would be that'd be good.
By all means.
Unfortunately, I was the only other one in the studio at the time.
No harmony.
Nobody wants that. Your ears would be bleeding right now.
Oh my gosh.
Cloudy today and tomorrow with highs in the 70s and lows in the 50s. Sunshine will give way to evening showers on Saturday, of course, with highs in the 50s. Cloudy with some evening showers on Sunday with highs in the mid-60s. It's not a complete washout, though.
Yeah.
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
In sports, with their season on the line and star forward Jason Tatum sidelined with an injury, Derek White stepped up with a game-high 34 points, and Jaylen Brown added 24 points, 12 assists, and 8 rebounds as the Celtics finally beat the New York Knickerbockers 127-102. Boston is down 3 games to 2 in the best-of-7 series with Game 6 tomorrow night in New York.
Whatever.
Oh, no, Gisele, let's hear it.
Oh my God.
Let's hear it. What's happening?
They don't need to be down. I had hope for them. I had some hope.
Well, I did too until,
But last night was big.
Last night
was big.
No Jason Tatum.
And they still pulled it off.
smoked them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to come back with
pulled it off.
some strength.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Red Sox, they still stink.
Yep.
They lost to the Detroit Tigers 6-5 for the third time in a row. Boston is off today and will host the Atlanta Braves tomorrow night.
The NFL released its schedule yesterday. The Patriots will open their season at home against the Las Vegas Raiders on September 7th.
And the Maine Mayhem women's football team will host the Harrisburg Havoc on Saturday at Lewiston High School.
Very cool.
That's your news, weather, and sports. And right now it is time for the podcast segment that is Sweeping the Twin Cities. It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous
people birthdays.
Sarah, Pam, I had a really hard time with this one.
Yeah.
I'd like you to take a glance at this list and see if you recognize anyone.
Well, Jamie Lynn Sigler.
Okay.
She was the daughter on The Sopranos. She's 44 today.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Those are your FPBs.
No, you can't leave off Chaz Palminteri.
Watch me. Those are your FP. Oh, go ahead.
Chaz Palminteri is 79 today.
Who dat?
He's one of those people where you're like, who dat? And then you Google him and you're like, oh, I know that guy. He's been in everything. He's got all kinds of small roles. Analyze This, Mulholland Falls. He's also taken over on one of those Criminal Minds type shows. I can't remember the name of it. That might be it, Criminal Minds. I think that is actually it. He's like the head of the unit. Yeah, Chaz Palminteri.
All right.
Did you Google him?
I just Googled him and I still have no idea.
Come on.
I'm serious.
All right.
Can we just say Wavy Gravy?
We
is
can.
89
Gravy,
today.
gravy.
Wavy Gravy is 89 today.
89.
I don't know who that is, but
He was the inspiration behind the Ben and Jerry's flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those are your FPBs kind of for May 15th. Now let's take a look at some OTDs. On this day, 15 years ago in 2010, Jessica Watson became the youngest person to sail nonstop around the world without assistance, and she was 16 years old.
Can you imagine sending your daughter out at 16 to sail around the world?
I couldn't even drive to the grocery store at 16.
Yeah. 84 years ago on this day in 1941, Joe DiMaggio's record 56-game hitting streak began. DiMaggio got a hit in every game until July 17th.
Wow.
85 years ago on this day in 1940, nylon stockings went on sale for the first time in the United States.
And bank robbers rejoiced.
Ban those things.
Not a fan, Giselle?
Not a fan.
All right.
Jeez, no.
We're going to move on then. And finally, 95 years ago today, in 1930, Ellen Church became the first airline stewardess when she went on duty aboard a United Airlines flight from San Francisco to Cheyenne, Wyoming.
And she's still there.
With apologies, those are your FPBs and OTDs for May the 15th.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the L.A. area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Now we shift focus fully to our guests in studio, Darlene Conant and Gisele Guerrette from Salt and Light Community Center. So let's start with the big question. What exactly is Salt and Light Community Center?
So we're a community center, but we've been a community center that hasn't had any walls or a building since our foundation in 2020.
True story.
It is a true story. So I don't really know where to start this story, and it's kind of hard. I'll just start in 2020 when we started. So
Sure.
COVID's happening. It's an ugly time. I'm working at LLB, and they don't know what's going to happen. And they said, "You want time off?" And I said, "Heck yeah." So I took time off. So if we go back in time a little bit, I have 5 kiddos. My oldest passed away from an overdose 10 years ago. And at that time, I thought, as he's going through his struggles before his death, and he's in his teen years, running away and doing all the things, I'm thinking, is there something we can do to make a difference? But I have 4 little kids. So I did some research and seeing if we could do a teen center, but that was not the time to do that. Now we go back to 2020, and I have time off, and my kids are adults. And I have time. So walking through the neighborhood, I live right in the downtown Auburn area where all this stuff happens. And thinking to myself, what makes a difference in kids' lives? And can we make a positive a difference in our community? And what would that look like? And as I have time off, you have time to do the things. So you exercise, you eat right, you read, you do the things that make you better and say, hey, if this matters to me and makes a difference to me, it's going to others as well. And so we got to work on pillars, these health pillars that we found in Salt and Light on, which are spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial health, and bringing them together for a whole person. And how does that look in a community to bring change? So we started forming a board and finding people to support pillars, and got to work becoming a 501c3, and that was accomplished. And then we said, great. Now we have $0 and no place. What do we do?
But we are established.
We are established. And so what we did was went to the park and started.
Totally.
We started having story hours for kids and kickball for kids and adventure camps for kids in the park. Our first actual event was a Christmas caroling concert, masks. Come 5 at a time.
Oh, yeah. We're still talking about COVID.
We're talking about COVID, yeah. So you show up, you sing, you leave, someone else comes.
Oh, wow.
Kind of thing.
What park?
And we were out.
Chestnut Park.
Chestnut Park.
Chestnut Park. So right in the center of downtown Auburn, and that is our key area. So that was our first, and then we moved into our summer events, and then we were sharing at a church, and the pastor of another church here, the Nazarene Church on the Summer Street in Auburn, said, hey, you can use our fellowship hall. So that's when we got to really start with our indoor programming, which is after school enrichment, youth programming, and grandparent parenting support groups, which we have used their basement and totally taken over their garage for 4 years. That's our beginning. So we established with nothing, and with God's provision, we have been able to get full support, and we are now purchasing a building at
Oh,
the end
Right
of this
now.
month.
Oh, that's
Wow.
exciting.
Right there.
where? Where are you?
29 Hampshire Street.
Oh, my gosh. Like right there.
Right there.
Creative Works building.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that is a great location for you all.
It's absolutely perfect for us
perfect.
to be able to move into the next
This next
area.
phase. Yeah.
It's huge. We'll be able to do so much there. Okay, so that's a little bit of how we started, why we started. From that, of course, we don't want anyone to die from an addiction. So our first cause was let's work with kids. Prevention is always better than cure. But our heart is also, we have those that are already addicted already in these areas. And so we want to work not just with children, but be a true community center for our whole community and offer those services that will hopefully prevent. But if you're already there, we want to help you get out of that as well.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Good mission.
Gisele, how did you become involved with Salt and Light?
Darlene and I met in the, I think it was late 80s, early 90s, at the Peck building in downtown Lewiston, because we were both working for LL Bean. I left the city of Lewis. I left Maine for a couple of decades and then came back to the state of Maine. When I did, we found each other, completely unplanned, but we found each other at the Hannaford on Spring Street in Auburn when I heard Darlene saying, Gisele! Gisele! I turned around. It was Darlene. We hadn't seen each other for a long, long time. We hugged. She got me caught up on what was going on in her life really, really quickly, like totally shared. This is what I'm doing. I could really use some help. And I went, I'm on board. So I met the board of directors. The skill set is pretty extraordinary on this board, and the passion meets the skill set in a big way. So it was easy for me to see that the commitment of the board is for the children who are addicted, the children who are unhoused, the children who are experiencing human trafficking. And all of that is happening right here, right here in downtown Auburn. So that's how I started with Salt and Light. It's my relationship with Darlene. We've known each other for a long time.
Where did the name come from?
The name came from a Bible verse that I shared at our first board meeting, and it's being the salt and light in the world, making a difference basically in the world, shining your light. And it's funny, darkness. You don't need more darkness. Light gets rid of darkness, and you turn on the lights. You don't turn up with the darkness. You turn on the light. So that's kind of where it came from. And so I read the verse, and later we got to okay, what do we call ourselves? And one of our VP actually said, how about this? And how about Salt Lake Community Center? And I said, that's it. So that's where it came from.
Can you share a story about someone's life who has been positively changed by Salt and Light?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Sure can.
I can. One of my favorites, because, oh, my goodness. So it's a girl that came right in the beginning to story hours in the park, curly hair and cute as could be, probably 7 or 8. And we would finish whatever activity. She showed up at everything, and you'd get in your car to be ready to go, and she'd just hang on your window and talk. So you're not going anywhere. She'd talk about anything and everything. And then pretty soon, because I live in the neighborhood, and at that time I was back working at LL Bean, and they sent us home to work, and my office was on the second floor, but my window's open. It's summer. She'd walk by and holler, "Hey, Miss Darlene," as I'm working. It's like waving out the window. Because of the tragedy in her life, she got taken from her home and put in foster care and disappeared from our lives for a while, which hurt my heart a whole lot. But then one of the other leaders and I were grocery shopping. We serve supper every week to our kids. And there she is in Hannaford. We're like, I won't scream her name because obviously we live in the community and that's not kind. But she was there and we invited her back in. And she is absolutely a leader in our community. She has this need to talk 100% of the time, which might drive some of our leaders a little bit over the edge. I'm just saying. But that's because she just hasn't been able to focus her leadership skills yet. But she has them. So she is always the volunteer. She is the one. So I just want to take you to the story that really makes my heart so happy. We, back in the fall, we brought in Just Love Worldwide, which is human trafficking, and we had classes for them. And she brought to attention something that was happening in the school to one of our leaders, and we were able to advocate for the children in the school because she was bold enough to bring it forward. Wow. And she is just very much, I mean, even just like last week, we had a week that was really rough, and we said, let's talk this through. And she just raised her hand. She said, I might have instigated some of that. And just the heart of understanding and being able to speak it and knowing where she's come from and losing homes and foster homes, and her saying, I just want to be loved. And we give her a place to be loved. And she is taking that to the level and bringing it to other people. So
Beautiful.
We're bringing our children a safe space to be and feel and speak safely. Yeah. And I think that's a huge impact for them.
So she's one. We have lots of stories, but she's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
What types of programs does Salt and Light offer for children and families?
So right now we have been limited because we had shared spaces and could only operate. So we offer after-school enrichment on early release Wednesdays. That's our kindergarten to 5th grade. And then we offer after-school again on Wednesdays. Youth group again on Wednesdays from like 4:30, 4:45 to 7, where we offer meals and do games and have a lesson. We also offer parenting support. And that's kind of morphed. Way back in the beginning when we were having the story hours in the park, we noticed a lot of grandparents were raising their grandchildren. So we started as a grandparent raising grandchildren support group. And as life goes, I brought to the board we should do this. And a week later, my grandson moved in. And I said, oh, that is not what I meant. I did not want to be the one raising my grandson. But
The universe misunderstood.
Yeah,
that was not what I meant. But he stayed with us for almost a year. We were just getting known at that time, and we really started just as kind of podcasting because we didn't know how to reach the people, and they had come to Story Hour, but we weren't great at record keeping, so we didn't have their names or addresses. So we started that way, and then we morphed, and we grew by 1, and then we grew by 2, and this year we brought it to the level of inviting our parents from our youth group to come as well. So we've grown that way as well. So we brought them in this year to have an extended program. Where we hope to go is a whole lot different. So we talked about buying the building at 29 Hampshire Street, which has room for everything to fit under our pillars. So we will have art rooms and music rooms and horticulture rooms. We have a physical fitness room.
Wow.
And we really want to develop our work mentor program, and we will have the ability to do that there. So we will have a lot more programming as soon as we're in and things are painted.
That'll be so exciting.
Yeah. Yes. And you're still pretty close to the park.
We are.
Really within walking distance.
Yep, absolutely. That was the benefit of the building. It was right in the neighborhood we serve. We do have to cross the railroad track, but we're still right there.
Sidewalks and crosswalks abound, though, through that. The Hampshire Street area has really come up, and they've made a lot of improvements, I think.
Yep. And that huge complex of apartments are right across the street.
Yes.
Oh, and a thrift store. We're going to have a thrift store.
Oh, neat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
That is cool. How are you? You must need volunteers.
Oh. So we have a wonderful dedicated team of volunteers. And because we work primarily with trauma-informed At this moment, we pretty much have a 2-to-1 ratio of volunteers to kiddos, which we love because you need that when you're working with trauma. We will need a whole new world of volunteers to like do staffing and like cleaning.
You have an actual building now.
Yeah, custodial work.
Yeah, I think we have 6 bathrooms now.
And just all the other things. So, and our work mentor program is what we really want to develop. So we will definitely need volunteers for that. We currently just have a couple work mentor programs. One is T-shirt making, where we have a group that makes T-shirts to sell, and we want to have a lawn care one, and we just have a new one that's a possibility introduced of a pie of the month work mentor.
Nice.
That sounds good. Can you
But we want to do woodworking as well. So.
tell us a little bit more about the work mentor programs?
So the whole idea is working into your identity and knowing what your identity is will lift you. Mm-hmm. And helping them to discover and offering programming around that is what we really want to do. So to offer a wide variety of those. So we're hoping they would work on a stipend type of thing. So we have done some lawn care where people have offered out opportunities for them to serve that way.
Some snow removal as well.
Yep, snow removal. I have one of our kiddos that she works for free haircuts. So I give her haircuts and she works. But I was working in one of our apartments one day. We were putting down flooring and that was, I really like this kind of work. Do you think I could do this work? And I'm like, we're going to figure that out.
Yes.
So being able to, have businesses that might be able to offer or volunteers that can come in, we will expand into areas as they become available, both with volunteers and kids that are interested in that area. So we have 4 that work in our T-shirt making business. We have one of our students that has taken over the kitchen for making Wednesday meals, and we just want to be able to offer. So this is what we offer now, but as we see things, we will see if they fit into our curriculum, and we have volunteers to support it.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Because you don't know what you want to do when you grow up.
You got to
these
try
days.
different things. Yeah.
Right.
You mentioned the 4 pillars
Yeah.
earlier, spiritual, emotional, financial, and physical. Can you explain why they are important?
Because you need wholeness, and when you're missing components, you're off balance, and they feed each other. If you're not putting good food in your brain isn't working right. If your brain isn't working right, you don't want to exercise, and you might go spend erratically, and all of the pieces come together, and if you don't have a strong center core of who you are in Christ, then you will not be whole. So that's why we put them all together and we try to incorporate them into our programming. So for instance, yesterday we incorporated a few into our after-school program. They all got assigned jobs with a time card and a time stamp and fake pay. So they got to vacuum and wash registers and all of these things. So that was their work. We talked about how to use the money, how to save, how to give, and what to spend. And then they got to go grocery shopping in the food pantry they have at the church, and they had to fulfill their grocery list with healthy food from the food groups. So we kind of incorporated all of that into just one lesson.
That's a great lesson.
that.
There's so many kids that wouldn't even begin to know how to do that.
Yeah.
We were surprised when we introduced a meal for youth group on Wednesday evenings that children didn't know how to sit at a table together.
Oh.
Children didn't know how to set a table. They didn't know how to prep food, didn't know how to peel a carrot. We were surprised by that. So incorporating that in our youth group on Wednesday evenings has gone a long way in building community within the children.
Yeah.
They're identifying themselves and getting closer to each other because they're literally breaking bread together at a table.
Yeah. Sharing a meal is a big deal.
Huge.
I think this week's lesson is on the appropriate use of burping at the table.
Oh, is there an appropriate use of burping at the table?
Well, maybe like closing your mouth. And
Okay.
turning your
Yeah,
head. Yeah.
The method.
Or farting when you get up from the table.
Was this week's
It
lesson.
happens.
These are real things in life,
By the way, Gisele, some of those skills you mentioned, I still don't know.
Yeah.
how to use, so maybe I'll stop by
Still
sometime.
sitting on the sofa
Sitting,
in front
yeah.
of the television.
We'll give you a carrot peeling lesson.
TV tray.
Sitting in front of the television, watching television and
Jeopardy.
eating dinner. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about the future of Salt and Light. What are the hopes and goals for the future?
Oh gosh, I dream big.
That's why I'm defaulting to Darlene. Right now we're in full-blown fundraising mode. Right now we have 2 more weeks, and we're closing on a building, and we still have more money that we need. So right now we're in really, really huge fundraising campaign.
Yeah.
And so when we think about what the future looks like, it always feels like, well, that'll be dependent upon the money, but we're not allowing money to stop us. So Darlene's heart for dreaming really, really drives us in a big, big way.
So future, I think I might have talked a lot about it, about what the future I hope to look for, but really, if we're dreaming really big, what I hope to look for is that we're bringing change to a community through bringing change to an individual. So I heard you talk just earlier about a lower drug rate. Well, can we bring that down to nothing in our community? And I believe we can. So we can only do that by helping kids rise, though, and them bringing it. So, and I say that to them all the time. You are going to live in the community that you create. What do you want that community to look like?
That's right.
Yeah.
And do you want it to be angry and bitter? Do you want it, or do you want to live in peace? And you choose by your reactions and what you put into your life. And no one's going to choose for you. So as we talk about these things, what do I want it to look like? I would like it to kids being able to find their identity and bring that into their community. I would like to bring forward leaders into our community through work mentorship, through them learning how to put these pillars in their life of how to use our finances correctly and how to eat correctly and how to do all these things that we talk about, how to have a spiritual balance where I know that I'm inherently, just because I'm a human, have value. So those are the pieces that as we bring those forward to bring change into our community, would be helping people find their identity and to live into that.
Yeah. Showing them that they're more than where they came from.
Right.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, generational trauma is real, right?
Yeah.
We all know that. And to watch it, we're watching that live itself out in our neighborhoods. Right? And Darlene and I live in the neighborhood that we're servicing right now. We see the children and the trauma and their behavior and their responses based on generational trauma, and it's real and it continues. Children have the ability to choose to break that trauma, and we're teaching them how to do that.
What do you wish people understood about the needs of this community?
I wish people really understood the inherent value of people as people and to love them through and with the stuff. I hear that often. Obviously, we service trauma kids, and behaviors are very large, and it's not easy work. And understanding that if we can journey through this with them, that they have value and they're more than the I can't stop talking at dinner or burping at the table, or and they're more than, and you know, we try to work through this, and I remember just bringing someone out to have a conversation because they were interrupting a lot, and the reply was, "Do you think I like to be like this?" And I'm like, there it is right there. They want change.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
And if they want change, we can help them there. If someone doesn't want to, then we can't. But when they recognize, do you think I really want to do this all the time? Then we can. We can say, you have value, and you recognize that. And that's what I want people to know, is that each one of them is born with value. And it might be camouflaged right now. It might be camouflaged really well, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Have you been able to partner with other organizations to strengthen your impact?
That's kind of the heart of our work. We do that in every way possible because it takes a whole lot more than us to do that. So I had mentioned earlier Tricia Grant, who's with Just Love Worldwide International, which is human trafficking. They came in and did a few months with us with internet safety and recognizing what that might look like. We have Willie. He's actually the director of Hope Haven, and he does Bigger Than Basketball.
Yeah, we know Willie. Willie Pons. Yeah, we know
Mr.
Willie.
Yes, Willie. I love Willie. He's so good with our kids. So we do clinics with him. FCA, which is Fellowship of Christian Athletes, comes and does soccer clinics for us. More than that, we have a huge group of churches that just come out to our community days. We do big community days, and churches will come out and do many different things, sack races, cornhole, cook the hot dogs, paint the faces. Yeah. And it is only through collaboration and community working together. And that is where my heart is that we can really only make a difference when we are all working together, as opposed to I do my thing and you do your thing, and I don't know what you're doing and certainly don't know what they're doing. And I want people to know what we're doing, and I want to, we support other people in their work as well. So we'll show up like at the PAL functions or something and support those. Yeah.
And all you guys have the same goal.
We do.
Really
We do. We do, yes.
Children and providing a safe space for them to thrive. And
It is through our fundraising campaign that we've discovered that the community of people that we partner with, much like local area churches and people of friends and family of us, we've discovered that we were kind of a little secret of only a handful of people who knew us.
Yeah.
Not literally a handful, but figuratively. And now that we've reached beyond that, we're now recognizing, oh my gosh, there's a lot of people who didn't know what we were doing. We've been doing it for 5 years.
Right.
Now we're having bigger conversations, and we're gathering more partners now. And what a joy it is to see that happen.
yeah.
And we just had an open house in the middle of the rainstorm on Saturday.
It was raining?
Wow.
Yeah.
Every Saturday. We had a yard sale in a rainstorm the week before.
Man.
Oh.
And we were amazed to see the people who turned out from Minot, Hebron, Portland,
Oh, that's great.
to come see us. So it was those conversations were really, really impactful.
How can our listeners and our community members make a difference and assist in your mission?
I think part of what Gisele said is very true, is sharing the word that we're here and that we're doing stuff is a big way. If there's something that touches your heart that says, I really love and I want to share my talent in a way, that's another great way. I'm an artist and I want to share that. I'm a musician and I want to be able to teach kids. I have a lawn care business and I want to bring all of those things. So volunteers, and as I talked about, as we grow, we really like to keep our volunteer to student ratio very high because we're coming from trauma, and that allows us to do that. And of course, Gisele mentioned the ever almighty dollar, which you can't run a building without. So that's just facts. When we buy a building, we're going to have electricity and roofs that need fixed and toilets that leak and internet to put in and all of those things. And we have been very blessed to been able to operate from a place of surplus all these years. That's about to look a little different.
Yeah. Our overhead is going to grow exponentially. Right?
And dollars are helpful. I won't lie. And I know that there are people asking for dollars everywhere. But we're one of those people, and we really do want to make an impact in our community, and dollars help us do that.
Yeah.
There's literally 2 categories of donors that we're looking for right now. One is to satisfy our capital campaign. So obviously we're going to buy a building in 2 weeks. We still need more money. In addition to that, we're looking for monthly donors so that we can take care of that monthly overhead, pay internet, pay central main power, And so there are 2 levels of donors that we're looking for right now.
Do you have somebody on your board or in your group of folks who writes grants for you?
Oh, so we did get our first grant. I found out the coolest thing I didn't know, but you can contract a virtual admin. I don't like admin work. So she's done a fantastic job with grant writing. She's written quite a few for us. We did get our first one.
Congratulations.
So thank you, from Protein Foundation. And we got support from the Exchange Club just recently as well.
Wonderful.
So that was amazing, and thank you. And so we are working on those as well as personal donors. So always looking for like-minded organizations and people.
Yeah. On a few occasions during this podcast, while Darlene was speaking, you felt her words. I've seen you put your hand over your heart and close your eyes. And I was just curious as to how deep and impactful this work is to you and why you chose to give so much of your life to this mission.
Thank you so much for recognizing that, by the way, Mark. I really appreciate it. Children are lost. And I think in our current culture, they're easily overlooked. The trauma that they come from is real because I see it. I see their language. I see their anger. I see their physical anger, their verbal anger. And knowing that when they go home at night, if they even have a home to go to, that when they go home at night, it might not be an awesome place to be. So providing them with that safe space that I referred to earlier is really, really impactful for me. That sense of safety and security can only reveal itself in ensuring that a child can go from anger to peace, from peace to love to being engaged to opening a business, helping other people. In my mind, it's so natural to just go from anger to love and then see nothing but good things come from that. And the kids that we service are angry. Yeah. And that breaks my heart.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is there anything else about Salt and Light that you would like to share?
We would love for individuals to go to www.saltandlightcommunityscenter.org/donate. Yeah. When you go to that page, you'll see an opportunity to conduct a one-time donation. Of course, that'll go towards our capital campaign. Again, we got 2 more weeks left. We still need more money. You'll also see an opportunity to provide a donation on a monthly basis. Again, the overhead that we're going to be experiencing in this humongous building at 29 Hampshire Street is going to be rather extraordinary, and those monthly donors are going to be even more important starting today. So www.saltandlightcommunitycenter.org/donate. If you have any questions at all, please feel comfortable in reaching out to Darlene personally. Her personal cell phone number is at the footer of that website, and she could certainly talk to you about any questions that you may have regarding our organization and how you can impact the organization and the children as well.
What I would like you to know is we'd love to show you the place and show you the work. So if you have interest in that, we would love that opportunity to even share on a deeper level and hear from you, hear what your thoughts are on community, because it takes a whole lot of people thinking together to make things that I don't think of happen. So we would love that, and we would love the opportunity to just give you a tour of the building as well, because it's going to be awesome.
We're going to be neighbors.
We can have croissants.
Almond croissant.
Almond paste.
Locally owned and locally focused, Lydia Media celebrates the heart of the greater Lewiston-Auburn area through 2 magazines, Uncle Andy's Digest and LA Metro Magazine, and the new Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast. Each production shines a positive light on local businesses, nonprofits, events, and individuals making a difference in our community. Keep your advertising dollars local and position your business in front of your target audience with Lydia Media. Learn more at lydiamediallc.com. We like to close the show with a segment called 3 Random Questions. We're going to lighten the subject matter a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we'll each ask you a question that has absolutely nothing to do with your occupation or profession, and just try to get to know you a little bit more as people. And we'll start with Darlene.
Ooh, good. Love this.
Darlene, what's your favorite way to unwind after a busy day?
I don't want to admit this. I really don't.
You can make something up.
It's what I preach against all the time, but I literally sit down on my couch with my phone and play a game. And I preach against doing that all the time. Oh my gosh, I have to admit it, right?
Well, now we need to know which game.
I don't even know. It's just you connect 3 things together and they disappear.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know the name of it. Match, probably, or
All
something
right.
like that. And it drives my husband crazy. He's like, put that thing down. He thinks I should watch TV, and I have no interest in that.
All right, Gisele.
I'm a pianist, and I love sitting down at my piano at the end of the day.
Please tell me with that voice that you're a singer as well.
I am a singer.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And I promise you I'm not. I bet you couldn't guess.
Want me to go?
Sure.
All right. What superhero or supervillain would make the best therapist?
Good luck with that.
I'm going to say Wonder Woman.
Ooh.
I'm going to say Wonder Woman because even though she presents herself strong, right, all the costume, the headgear, she presents and wristbands, she presents herself strong. You could see the heart of a woman come through her behavior. So I think that would be, she would make an awesome therapist.
Okay.
I'm going to refer back to my previous statement. I don't watch TV.
But you must know some
All right, I do know
superhero or
superheroes,
supervillain.
but I couldn't really tell you. Counseling. All right, let's see. Well, I have to go with my son's favorite is Batman, so we're going with Batman. I have no idea why, other than he's really cool at our house.
Well, I mean, he's experienced trauma as well. If you think about it,
Yes.
Batman experienced that.
All right. Darlene, what's the most memorable live performance you've ever seen or attended?
I might have a very sheltered life, but live performances, I don't know if this counts, but I really love Fantasia.
No.
At Disney at MGM.
Yeah.
I don't think it's called MGM anymore. It's called Hollywood Studios. I love it. I think it's so impactful. It makes me.
Yeah.
Oh. Gives you the feels?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
That's easy. The very first time I saw the Nutcracker Suite was at the Wang Center in Boston in 1987, and it was the most impactful performance I've ever seen. Tremendous amount of skill, beauty, art, music. It was just extraordinary.
Tchaikovsky
And I've been back 20 times.
Right. Doesn't get old.
It totally doesn't get old.
Yeah.
There's something about that swell in Tchaikovsky that just kind of makes your heart go.
Yeah.
Big way. In a big way.
It's neat.
And that building, the Wang Center.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Off the
building.
charts. Yeah. Crazy.
Ladies, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Sure. It was a pleasure.
We so appreciate it, and thank you for changing our community and the world for the better.
Making a difference.
Thank you.
For having us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Glad you
Thank
could be here.
Thanks to our sponsors, Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and United Piping. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam via email at pam@lydiamediallc.com.
Have a great day. And remember, don't bite your cat.
And I will say I have bitten my cat.